Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for checking out today's video. So today we're going to be talking about how to crew a runner at an ultramarathon. So you've got my wife's perspective as the crew chief.
The best crew chief there is.
And then my perspective as a runner. So you'll get both points. So let's get right to it. Number one is to know your runner. From a crew chief's perspective,
You need to know what their goal is in the race.
you know their A goal, their B goal, C goal, because like for me, I've got a race coming up on Friday. So I've got an A goal of sub 24, B goal. She's crewing me there, so I'm reinforcing that. My B goal is sub 26, and my C goal is just to finish the race. If things go to crap, just finish the race.
Yeah, we're having our race meeting right now.
Yeah, basically, this is a race meeting. And then you're gonna say,
Just knowing what they want to do. If they want to run a certain pace and they're coming into the aid stations behind that pace, you need to be extra diligent in getting them out as quick as you can and trying to get them to move faster.
Yeah, it's your job to track and know, like, all right, well, if they come in 10 minutes behind schedule, we don't need to be sitting down in a chair and like talking, get them the food, give them nutrition, and get them back out.
Yeah.
But basically, like, you need to know your runner, if they're, what their personality is, if they're going to be more high strung maybe, or might get angry or frustrated as the run goes on, as it gets more, as they get more tired.
Yeah.
And know not to take that personally as a crew chief or a crew. And I know when I run, sometimes I'm very late into a run, I can get maybe a little short. Like, just give me that, I want that. And it's like, I just want it to me right then. So it's like, you gotta know not to take it personal. Yeah, and you also need to know their diet. Obviously she knows my diet because we live together, we're married. But if you're crewing somebody that you've never met before, that happens, where you fly out to a race, you'll crew somebody or you're helping them out. You need to really know their diet. Do they eat anything? Is there something that they do not want to eat that upsets their stomach? Are they a plant-based runner? Are they a keto? Are they gluten-free? Or whatever it is, you need to know that. Number two is know the crew and race rules.
So you need to know the driving directions. For instance, last year I crewed Steven at GDR, and they had very specific instructions that you couldn't drive down this one road. A GPS would have taken me down that road, so I had to know ahead of time what the driving directions were.
I made it right back.
But I needed to know ahead of time, and I had to follow the driving directions and not GPS. If I had gone down the wrong road, I very well could have gotten him disqualified.
Yeah, and that would be a big no-no. So
yeah, that would
know what aid stations crew access is allowed at. Know if you need to park in a certain location. And this is all typically laid out in a crew guide or the runner's guide for the race. So just you need to be involved in this as a crew, going and searching, or have your runner. Usually your runner is going to give you this information, but if they don't, you need to search it out. Know if you got to get all four wheels off the road, or if you're going to get a ticket for that, basically, depending on where you're at. You also need, as far as the rules go, and we kind of mentioned it in number one, but you need to know the cutoffs so that you know when you need to get your runner moving a little bit quicker, or encourage them a little bit harder to get out there and move a little faster to meet that cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, and this is where she excels, but number three is be organized.
Okay, so when I have my crew stuff, it's food, nutrition. Usually there'll be a rolling stick, a yoga mat,
Maybe an actual
a shirt, a socks. He likes to have all that stuff. So I have it in certain places laid out, and I can easily pull it out, give it to him, know where it is. So because if I'm sitting there fumbling around looking for stuff, then that's going to stress him out.
And that's wasted time.
And it's wasting time. Yeah. Figure out a system that you can use that will easily be able to get your stuff out. And that also goes for some aid stations. You have to walk a little bit of a distance from where you park. So having a backpack or some sort of bag that you can carry all this stuff in is
There was one
awesome.
aid station at the Georgia Death Race where she had to park. It wasn't far, but she had to walk far enough to where if she had to go back to get something, it would have wasted a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a backpack that I packed, and I packed everything in a specific way, and then I went over that backpack with her. I was like, in this pocket is foot care stuff, in this pocket is extra shirt, in this pocket is this, and so she knew where everything was. So when she got parked, she was able to walk to the area. And I was crewed by some other people during the Smoky Challenge Adventure Run. They had to hike like a mile in to get to the spot to see me on the Appalachian Trail. And Heather, she had this ruck on with a bunch of stuff, and it's awesome. It's just, so you need to know where you're going and have an organized system, like she said, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So for like organization, one thing I do as a runner, and I did this for GDR, any race that she's crewed me at, basically, I've done this. So I've got the No Business 100 coming up in 5 days, 6 days. It's Friday. I take a 3-ring binder, I print out the crew guide, which has all the aid station cutoffs, all the rules for the crew, everything is in here. I've got her a pen, and then I also did printed out directions, because where we're gonna be is hardly any cell service, might not be GPS service, might take you down wrong roads. So I've got from each crew accessible aid station to the next crew accessible aid station of where she needs to go, where she needs to drive, so she knows how to get there. On the back, I've got my Excel spreadsheet of all of the aid stations, start finish aid stations, the distance between each, my projection as far as pace I need to run, when I'll arrive at that aid station, so she knows when she needs to be there, or give a grace period. Like if I'm supposed to be at Blue Heron at 1 a.m., she should probably be there no later than 12 a.m. You get an hour ahead of time at least.
Yeah, I like to do that early.
So for projections, like how I figured out my projections, she just asked. There's a website called ultrapacer.com that my buddy sent me where you can upload a GPX. He put in all the aid stations where the distances are correct, and you can input your pace drift, like how much you think you'll slow down over the course of the 100 miles, your aid station delay, how long you think you're going to be at each aid station. If you're running at altitude, it can adjust for that. It gives you your projections, so that's really cool. But I didn't have this for some other ultras, so I just did it manually, thinking, okay, well, I've got a 7.3 mile section. If I do a 12-minute mile, then it's going to be this time, so that would put me there at this time, and I just did that all for all aid stations.
I think that's a very important thing for a crew, because it really helps you know how much time you have to get from one place to the next. If your runner is laid back, you might want to suggest something like that to them. It'll help you and help them.
Yeah, or take it upon yourself to do it. All right, number 4 is knowing when to intervene. You really need to talk to your runner. You need to find out from them when do you need to get involved as the crew, and tell them, I really don't think you should continue. It's rare, but in an ultra marathon, especially once you get to that 100K, 100 mile plus distance, your runner's going to be tired, fatigued. They might be a little dehydrated. They might be short on calories, which makes them cranky, might make them cold. And then they might want to quit at some time. They might start talking about, man, I don't know if I can go on. And it's like, you need to know what that means. Like, does that mean they really want to quit? And you need like, okay, well, you did good. It's like, or does that mean you need to be like, no, you got this, just encourage them, and you just need to know when you need to be involved. Like for me, I tell my wife, I told the folks that crewed me at the Smoky Challenge Adventure Run, unless there's a bone poking out that cannot be set and taped up, that's when you need to get involved. Otherwise, tell me to suck it up and move on, and walk. If I have to walk the next 15 miles, that's what you got to do. But if I can't run, as long as it's not a medical emergency that can cause permanent physical harm, I want to continue. If I cannot do that, then that's when they need to get involved.
I would add too that there may be times where your runner is incoherent. Like if they're not mentally there, I don't think that that's necessarily a time to call it as a race, but that would probably be a time to let your runner take a break. Make sure they get hydration, food, calories, and then reassess in a little while. I mean, they may be gung-ho wanting to get back out there, but if they're not walking straight, and they're like, for better lack of a better word, like a drunk person, you need to slow them down and tell them they need to regroup. I think. Yeah,
and that comes to like the paying attention to your runner, where you need to be able to see if they look, have they been getting enough calories, have they been getting enough liquid hydration, do they need to sit down and drink 2 bottles of water or whatever to try to get some fluids in them, kind of thing. And so that's a good point, very good point.
Number 5 is don't ask dumb questions.
Yes, absolutely. Like as a runner, when I come in, I don't want like, hey, are you feeling good? Or it's like, how you feeling? It's like, no, it's like, be specific, ask direct questions. Whoever said there's no such thing as a dumb question was just not an ultra runner.
I like to be very specific. To take care of his needs, I ask him the most pertinent questions. Has he eaten enough food? Has he drank enough water or electrolytes? And are his feet okay?
And not even necessarily that, but you ask more like, when was the last time you ate?
Yeah.
You look at their water bottle when you're filling it up. If their water bottle has only had that much gone, then they've not drank enough. And then like with feet, you ask, do you have any hot spots? Do you have any blisters?
I would say too, if the question you're asking doesn't have a solution, like if it's not something you can fix, it's probably not worth asking.
9 out of the 10 times, a lot of it revolves around not getting enough calories. Like like their attitude, if they're cold, if they're shivering, it's probably they're calorie deficient. They need to eat. Sit down and like the Snickers commercial, you gotta be there a while, grab a Snickers, you know. Not me, because I'm plant-based, and she knows that because she knows her runner. The main thing with like asking your runner questions and trying to find out and what you can do is just you need to be able to solve the problem, because ultramarathons are solving problems, finding ways to solve different problems that come up throughout the race. And as the crew, it's like that's your main job, is to solve their problems, take care of them, and get them to finish the race and accomplish their goal.
Number 6, take care of yourself. As a crew person, you're always thinking about your runner, but if you didn't pack any food for yourself, if you didn't wear adequate shoes for walking around a bunch, you don't have enough caffeine if you're going to be up in the middle of the night. Those are all things that you need to think of and pack for yourself ahead of time, so that your lack of calories or your tiredness and fatigue don't interfere with how your runner is doing.
Yeah, that's like, you want to make sure to have enough warm clothing, because at night it gets cooler and you don't want to be shivering. And yeah, this goes back to knowing the rules of the race and everything. It's like you need to know how much time you have between each crew accessible aid station to know if you can go ahead and get an hour nap or a 2-hour nap, because you got to take care of yourself. You've got to focus on your runner, but if you don't take care of yourself and then you can't take care of your runner, then you're hurting your runner more. I love having my wife crew me, like, because she knows me better than anyone else, so she knows what I need when I don't even really have to say anything. But one of the negatives of that is I care about her a lot, so it's like I want to make sure she's doing okay. So like in my mind, if I come into an aid station and I see that she doesn't look great too, I'm going to start asking her, what's wrong? You eating? You got a headache? Or like, I think back to when I did the Scruffy City Challenge, which was like I did a 100K, and it was a self-supported thing where she was my crew. It wasn't a race, it was just an adventure run basically. And she had some sort of gastro issue, some sort of stomach thing that was like just in severe pain. Like, she thought she might have had to go to the hospital. And when I first came in, she was sitting in the car and I didn't know she was having this pain, and like she's not out getting my drinks, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, come on, help me out. And like she's like, I'm in like so much pain. And like from then it was like, this is just a stupid 100K I'm doing on my own, and your health is the most important thing. But luckily she got better. But take care of yourself, the bottom line. Take care of yourself as the crew, as if you're a pacer. Number 7 is don't get grossed out. In ultras, stuff happens. You might crap yourself. You can watch a video up here. You can watch a video up here where that happened. Your runner might crap their pants. Their runner might be throwing up. They might be peeing blood.
Well, I hope not.
Yeah, you hope not, but that happens.
That's an moment.
That happens. They might be needing lubrication. They might have to be like dropping their pants and rubbing lube on their junk. Or
that's too much. It's too far.
It happens.
You give them the lube and they can take care of it.
No. I'm not saying the crew does that. No.
Okay.
No. I'm saying like you might see these things at an ultramarathon, so like you got to be able to see this stuff and not get grossed out, because you'll see all sorts. You'll see gross feet, really gross feet. So you as the crew are probably going to be expected to help take care of those feet, whether it's dry them off, clean them, put more lube on them, put their socks on, tie their shoes. I mean, that's kind of a crew job. And you're going to be up in their business, maybe with a foam roller, a rolling stick, or a ball, and you might be literally getting their groin or their glute or their hamstrings. I mean, so for my wife, it's not that bad. I mean, it's like, it's not uncomfortable really, but if you don't know the person, it's like, you need to have limits, I guess, of what you can do. And let your runner know, like, hey, I'm not going to massage your butt. It's like, it's not going to happen. You'll have to do that yourself, so just set those boundaries. But yeah, you can't get grossed out. You got to have thick skin and be able to roll with the punches and the vomit. All right, number 8 is you need to be your runner's cheerleader. That's simple. It's a quick one. Just be supportive, be encouraging. They are going to be tired, they are going to be fatigued, they're going to be not thinking they're doing great. Even if they're not doing great, lie to them. Tell them, you're doing great, you really are, you're doing so good, don't worry about the times, just keep going. And
you shouldn't leave with, you look really terrible and you're in last place.
If they come in and they look bad, you shouldn't be like, oh man, you look like crap. Like, no, don't say those things. Encourage them, and that's your job, one of your jobs. Yeah, get the pom-poms out, woohoo!
More cowbell.
Number 9 is be their PR person, if they want to. I know when I do runs, I've got a lot of friends and family on Facebook or whatever that want to know how I'm doing. So I ask Val to post updates on my social media. So talk to your runner and find out if they want you to be their PR guy. You know, take one thing too, along with that is take photos and videos if you can, especially at the finish, because you're not really going to have a job as crew that's going to be really urgent right then. But you know, have the phone out, have a GoPro, whatever, take video of them crossing the finish line. Or lastly, number 10 is have a post-race plan, basically for your runner to get them home, get you home if you're tired because you've been up. If you're crew at 100 mile, you've probably been up most of the night as well. You know, you might have gotten an hour nap, maybe 2 hours at most, but you've probably been up most of the night too, so you're going to be tired. So have a plan, because you know, you don't want to be doing something unsafe and trying to drive. You don't want your runner to be driving home after running a 25, 26, 30 hour race and then trying to be stupid and drive home. You got to take their keys from them if you have to, but have a plan.
Bonus tip is there'll be a lot of downtime, like a ton of downtime. Take something to entertain yourself, whether that be a book or talking to other runners is great. Prepare to sit around a lot.
Yeah, have something to do to pass the time. Nap. Yeah, definitely nap if you can. Yeah. So I hope these 10 tips have helped give you an idea of what it's like to be a crew chief, how to crew your runner. You got some value out of it. If you did, you know, just give us a thumbs up on the video. We would appreciate it. Yeah. And also go ahead and click that subscribe button down in the bottom corner, and also click the bell so you'll get notifications of future videos. Put out different gear review videos, trail running videos, all sorts of stuff. So you can check it all out. All right, well, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to check out a video about what kind of gear to pack for a really long run, which will probably be helpful as crew because it's kind of similar as a long run, you need to pack a lot of stuff. Take a look right here. I've got a video of what I pack for a very long self-supported run. You can check that out. And then over on this side, probably in front of her face right here, will be a video or a playlist for you to check out for some other trail running videos. So check that out. All right, thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Bye.